Hey guys, I have a question for you. The word self-love, does that mean anything to you? Or is that just kind of a weird alien concept? And do you think it has anything to do with being healthy? Hi, I'm Rick Higgins. Welcome to Life Coaching for Men. Why just men? Because, well, frankly, we need it. But today's conversation is about health. Now, there's a question in the title. It says, what does health mean to you? What does a healthy man mean? And if you're like every other guy, you probably mention diet, exercise, lift, squats. Maybe you even talked about going to the doctors and flossing regularly, because to you, that is health. But what about the other side, the mental side, the intimate side, self-love? Do you consider that to be health as well? I mean, think about it. No matter how many squats you do at the gym or how many reps, if you don't take care of, dealing with conflicts and bad relationships and all of that stuff, if you don't learn to love yourself and don't learn to take care of yourself, from here up, then are you really truly healthy? I mean, think about it. Your body controls where you go, where you walk, what you do, but what controls your body? Yeah, I think we do need to take care of that. Okay, as strange as it sounds, and I know the word self-love just feels wrong. It feels like ego and selfishness and narcissism and conceit and all of those bad words that we were taught. And if you're a dude about my age, we were taught that. We were taught to provide. We were taught to care for other people, of ourselves, showing our emotions, loving ourselves. No, we weren't taught that so much. So a lot of this just kind of feels like so much chakras and pyramids and energy beams and all of the other sort of fancy new age stuff that we men don't have to deal with. But honestly, we do. It is really, really important. And today we're going to talk about why and how. Okay, let's define what self-love means. And honestly, I wish I had a better word for it, but maybe if we throw a couple little numbered dots and some definitions next to it, we'll all be on a better page. Now, let's see. Self-love means having a high regard for your own well-being and happiness. Yeah, not too bad. It means taking care of your own needs and not sacrificing your well-being to please others. Okay, that's a little iffy, but understandable. And the last one is just not settling for less than you deserve. And yeah, I know it's kind of hard to tell the difference between that list of things and selfishness and ego and conceit, but there really is a big difference. And I'm going to explain it to you next. But first, I need to give you an analogy. And have you ever seen the movie Tombstone with Val Kilmer and I forgot all the other characters, but it's a really great movie. One of my favorites. Whole lot of great movie lines come out of it, but we digress. In the movie, Wyatt Earp is off in this little field with the character played by Dana Delaney. And she's this beautiful, artistic, free-spirited kind of person. And she asked him,
"Are you happy?"
And he looks all flustered and, the way old Wild West men of a certain men sort of do. And she kept asking questions like that. What do you want out of life? Are you happy? Do you laugh? Do you smile? And he's just more and more getting so uncomfortable with the subject. Well, of course I'm happy. Well, I'm not happy all the time, like a fool and kind of thing. And he is sort of indicative of, I think, of a lot of the way men are. Now, if you skip to the end of the movie, and I'm going to give you a little spoiler alert here, well, he finds exactly what she's talking about to be what's inside of him. He figures out that the key to life is indeed just being happy, just finding out what makes you happy, finding out what makes you smile. He gets it in the end. So besides being a really great Western with some really, really good movie lines, it's definitely a metaphor for life. But I told you I was going to explain how, the difference between self-love and selfishness are really different. Let's say you have a list. You have this long list of people and things that you need to take care of. And, maybe your wife, your spouse, your partner, your kids, your work, your dog, your family, the guy next door. Everybody has a place on that list, except for you, I'll bet. Why isn't your name on that list? Now, here's kind of the crux of it. If the only name on that list was yours and it was sitting right at the top, that's selfish, that's narcissism, that's thinking only of yourself. But if you got 10 people or 20 things on that list and you happen to be somewhere in there, how is that selfish? You are being completely fair. You are one of 20, one of 30. You're not getting any special preferential treatment. Now, everybody moves up and down the list. Maybe grandma needs something today and the dog needs something tomorrow, and then you need something on the third day, because you are all equally sharing that list and all equally moving up and down. Again, completely fair. Selfish would be if you only took care of yourself. Self-love, you're allowing yourself to take care of yourself as much as you take care of others. And as long as you make sure that your name stays on that list and doesn't get any preferential treatment in either direction, whether good or bad, then it's self-love. It's not selfishness at all. Now, how do we do it? That is a big question. Now, I've done a whole lot of research on what can you do to promote self-love, to awareness of self, to take care of yourself. And I'm going to give you a little weird list here, because there was lots of research with things like don't compare yourself to others, and don't worry about other people's opinions, and allow yourself to make mistakes. But those aren't really goals so much as how-tos, such as just kind of trite advice. Of course we shouldn't pay attention to what others think and let them dictate our opinions. But if you kind of take all of those at sort of a meme level and look below it, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to find this because I couldn't remember what I was saying. But yeah, we can't compare ourselves to others. We are who we are. Other people may be a little better at self-love. A little people like me may be struggling. But in the end, that is what we need to do, is to sort of compare ourselves to ourselves and compare ourselves to other people's needs on that list, and just kind of move it up and down. And be aware that you are going to have flaws. You are going to make mistakes. Sometimes you're going to rise to the top of the list. Sometimes you're going to do something for yourself, and when you should have maybe been doing something for someone else, and you learn that after the fact. And yeah, just don't let that get you down to the point where you're never ever going to do something for yourself again. Because, we all have flaws, we all make mistakes, we're all in a constant state of learning. So, the bottom line is, we first have to understand how to use that word. And I am very guilty of this. Every time I talk to my own coach or a therapist, I use the word selfish. And I say things like, yeah, now I'm going to be selfish and do this. Now I'm going to be selfish and do that. And they look at me like I don't get it. It's like, well, you're in the life coaching business and you're using these words yourself. Because that's kind of the way it feels to me, is to say the word selfish when I really mean doing something for myself. And that includes even like what I'm doing now. If I want to shut the studio door so that no one else can come in and make a video, I might refer to that as, I'm going to be selfish and go make a video. Well, that is not what I'm doing. I am doing something that I love, taking care of a hobby, some passion of mine, and just for a brief moment today, I've moved myself to the top of the list. I'm taking care of something I want to do. And then in a little bit, I'm going to open that door and do something else for someone else. See how it all works?